All right, welcome everybody to another deep dive. Today we're tackling something that maybe doesn't sound that thrilling at first, but I promise it's super important for any trader out there.
I agree.
We're talking about boredom, straight up boredom, and how it can actually be a major risk in trading.
Yep.
We're diving into a collection of insights, it's called, and I'm just going to say it straight up. It's called Burnham Gray.
Okay.
And this source basically makes the case that boredom, when you're trading, can lead to some pretty bad decisions.
For sure.
Have you ever thought about that, by the way? Like, how you're feeling could actually mess with your trades.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's kind of wild when you think about it.
It is.
Gets right to the point. It says, and I'm quoting here, trading should be an interesting and engaging process, not a boring one. Boring can be dangerous.
And there's actually a lot of psychology behind that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Our brains, they crave novelty. They want stimulation.
That makes sense.
If we're bored, we're going to look for excitement, even if that means doing risky things.
So it's like our brain's way of trying to shake things up.
Exactly.
Okay, so I get that boredom could push us to be impulsive. But isn't the whole point of trading to be disciplined?
Right.
To stick to the plan?
Yeah.
You could almost argue that being a little bored would help a trader, right? Because then they're not getting caught up in all the emotions.
That's a really good point. And discipline is super important for sure. But Steines argues that real discipline, the kind that works, it comes from being engaged with what you're doing.
Interesting. So it's not just about ignoring your emotions. It's about being actively interested.
Exactly. And there's this one story in the source. It's about this trader who is doing really well, using like a simple trend following strategy.
I know those, yeah.
Made good money for a while, but then things went south, his performance tanked, and he realized it was because he'd become so focused on just following the rules like a robot that he'd stopped actually thinking about the market, about what was happening.
He was basically just going through the motions.
Exactly. He was bored, and that boredom led to missed opportunities, missed signals, bad trades.
So it sounds like we need to find a balance, right? Discipline, but also keeping things interesting.
Exactly. Finding that sweet spot.
And Disja actually gives some pretty good advice on how to do that.
It does.
One of the things it talks about is understanding the markets and the companies you're trading.
Right, because you're not just playing a game with numbers.
Yeah, it's not just an abstract thing.
You're part of a real system.
A whole ecosystem.
Exactly.
It's like if you're betting on a horse race,
Okay, yeah.
knowing the horses, the jockeys, the track conditions, all of that matters.
Exactly. It gives you an edge.
Totally. And Digera has this great example. It talks about a trader who focused on biotech stocks.
Oh, interesting.
And she actually went deep. She learned about the science behind the companies, went to conferences, even read scientific journals.
Wow, that's dedication.
It is, but it paid off because she could spot the companies with real potential early on.
Made better decisions.
Yeah. And I bet it kept things exciting for her.
For sure, there's always something new to learn.
Tourette's also talks about having a solid trading strategy, which, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, right?
Right, but it goes a step further.
Okay, how so?
It emphasizes risk management, things like stop-loss orders.
So you automatically sell if things go bad?
Exactly. And also position sizing, how much you put into each trade.
So you don't lose everything on one bad bet.
Precisely. Those things protect you, keep you in the game, even when it's tough.
So even when the market's slow, you're still engaged because you're managing your risk.
Exactly. You're always thinking, always adapting.
And then there's the whole learning thing, right? Markets change. We got to keep up.
Absolutely. Continuous learning is key.
You know, I actually got burned by that myself once. I had this options trading strategy. It was working great.
Okay.
Then the market went crazy, volatility spiked, and my strategy just blew up.
Ouch.
Yeah, I hadn't kept up with the new pricing models. Cost me a lot.
That's a tough lesson.
It was. Definitely learned the hard way that you got to stay on top of things.
Hey. Recommends setting aside time each week just to learn, read market news, research new indicators, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. Treat it like studying for a test.
Exactly. Invest in your knowledge.
The last thing the source mentions is finding a community, other traders to talk to.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
I guess it's easy to feel isolated when you're trading.
It is. Having a group, people to bounce ideas off of, share perspectives, that makes a big difference.
It's like having a support system.
Exactly. And it keeps you engaged. You're constantly learning from each other.
So to wrap things up, it seems like avoiding boredom in trading, it's not just about having fun. It's about making smarter decisions.
Absolutely. It's about managing risk.
Engaging with the markets, understanding what's going on, always learning new things.
It's about turning trading into something that challenges you intellectually.
So for everyone listening, What can you do to make your trading more interesting and therefore safer? Remember what Siege says. The best traders, they're the ones who are truly engaged
They're the ones who are passionate and curious.
and who aren't afraid of a little hard work.
That's the key.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everybody.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next one.
See you then.